This is Paul, representing TCWEP. You know those events that go terribly wrong? If you've been in the event industry for a while, odds are that you've experienced one of those bone-chilling moments. That's today's topic here, event industry horror stories. Our upcoming horror story comes from a Twin Cities photographer. She's been featured in such publications as Reader's Digest and more. In 2009, she co-founded the Twin Cities Wedding and Event Professionals, which has been going strong for over a decade. We are speaking, of course, with none other than Michelle Tverberg. Hey, hello, Michelle.
Hey, how are ya?
I am doing well. So, how long have you worked as a photographer?
Officially since 2002, wedding and event photographer, but I had a love of photography ever since I can remember.
Nice. Was there somebody in your life that inspired you to become a photographer?
Yes, I would have to give that kudos to my dad. He always had a camera or a video camera as a kid growing up with our family and that sort of thing. I actually have a camera bag that he gave me back in high school, let me use his 35 millimeters so I could have a photography class in high school. And so I would definitely say it stemmed from back then.
Oh, nice. You worked with a film camera. That's fantastic.
I know I'm dating myself here, but yes.
I think it's a good thing. So our topic is horror stories. You've worked in the industry for a long time. I'm assuming you have a couple of them that you can share with us, correct?
Oh, I sure do. Got a couple.
Give us this first one.
Oh, definitely. I would just say sometimes when you can't meet, when there's unrealistic expectations. This one that I'm thinking about, one that I've had, kind of what I call her my Pinterest bride, but she just had a lower budget with just some real unrealistic expectations. But what happened with this particular one is she kind of went into an impossible timeline. And we had talked about the timeline, had a meeting and such before the event, but when I got there, she changed the timeline and changed all kinds of things that she was wanting done. Like we had multiple first looks, which typically you just have one first look with the couple, but she included
with the groom, right?
Yeah. But she changed it. We had one with the maid of honor, one with her bridesmaids, another one with her father, with her mother.
And was she getting all of these ideas from Pinterest or something?
Well, I think some of it, yes, there was definitely some other things that she was looking at and wanting where she pulled out her phone and was showing me these Pinterest things.
The day of.
At
the wedding, not at your meeting. This was the day of.
Correct.
She was showing you things that she wanted.
Yeah.
That's a little crazy.
Yeah, I love Pinterest and I hate Pinterest. And I usually actually will have a conversation, and especially since then, I definitely did with my clients and that sort of thing, is where it's great as a visual. Let's share the ideas, but it's also having to know and understand that some of those pictures that you're looking at are styled photo shoots. And as far as incorporating them into a wedding timeline, definitely have to have plans ahead of time and that sort of thing. So some of the things that she was pulling out, I mean, she had a rifle for her groom that she wanted. I mean, things that she pulled out that I was like, okay.
Did you know that there was going to be a rifle?
No, these were things that she would have been good and helpful for her to talk about when we had our conversation prior to the event.
Okay.
Yeah. And I can go with the flow, and there's been plenty of events that I've just, I'm flexible and we just roll with it and we do the best, that we can.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, sometimes guns make people uncomfortable, I'm sure. Yeah.
I was okay with it, but it was, she just, there was this, for her particular event and the timeline we were trying to work within, it was just going into an impossible timeline. So really had to just be flexible with her and just roll with it the best I could and be responsible in that timeline too, as a vendor, to get her to the ceremony starting. But I mean, she had a 2-year-old that was running around without a caregiver, and it was just a lot of chaos. And it was difficult to try to, get what she was wanting me to do and taking care of the images that I knew we needed to capture and that sort of thing. So yeah, she was definitely, I would say, on my Pinterest bride horror story of just having a lot of unrealistic expectations.
Yeah.
Impossible timeline.
Oh, it sounds like it. You got the bride slinging the rifle, 2-year-olds running around, throwing, here, look at these other pictures we want to do, and blah. Oh, that's a good old fun horror story.
Yeah.
Have you ever experienced a time when I don't know. I always hear like the Godzilla mothers of the bride. I'm sure you must have a story involving that. Yeah.
Most of mine have been really great, but I do have one mother of the bride that was just relentless. And this, again, too, was kind of earlier on when I was starting this as a business. But where my catch-22 was with working with this mother of the bride or at the event was just the mother of the bride had paid for my photography package. So I kind of, but at the event, she wanted so many pictures of like these extended family members, like beyond just the wedding party and the typical immediate family and all that you normally would expect to have. She was bringing in all these aunts and uncles, and there had to be like 30 extra people outside of the wedding party and just all that before the ceremony was starting. And the bride was just getting tired. Yeah, tired.
That sounds exhausting.
Yeah, it was. And like I said, I was younger in the business at that time myself, I was having a little bit like, okay, she taking care of what she wanted, trying to appease her, but then also just trying to take the pictures that needed to be done for the event. But what happened was it just caused a lot of stress for this bride, and she ended up walking away in the middle of the photo shoot in tears and going into the get ready room. Well, the mother came to me and she's like, will you please go get her and ask her to come back out here and so we can take these pictures.
So you're not only a photographer, you're a therapist.
Yes. No, yeah. You have to be, as an event professional, calm, cool, steady under pressure, roll with things. There's a lot of different family dynamics that you run into. And most of them are really, really great. This one was just where the mother of the bride was just focusing more on these family pictures and these extended family pictures, more than just on letting the day be for the bride and letting it be her day. It's really what we were running into. So
sounds like she maybe wanted to be the bride. No, that's crazy. So how did that wind up, or what did you do?
I just went into the bride's room. I went and just was quiet and calm and just let that bride know. I said, I know that these pictures have been over the top with all of these family members, and I really want this day to be yours. I'm like, let's just focus on you and your groom, and I'm just going to take pictures of the two of you here before the ceremony starts, because we were still under the pressure of a timeline that we were working with. So I just brought her out and I let the mom know, and the people that were standing there, we're just going to work with the bride and groom now. And I just took them outside and we got some pictures of just of the two of them. And so,
was the mom okay with that, or did she go crazy?
She was okay with it. She kind of knew that she had pushed her daughter to the limits, beyond the limits.
Sure.
I mean,
Sure.
Yeah. Wow. So it ended up being okay, but it was definitely.
And so was that you thinking on your feet? Did you kind of make that? You made that decision.
I knew it, that when I walked in to go get her, I knew what I needed to do. I knew I needed to just get her and her groom, and I just made that decision that I was just going to be the two of them and myself, and nobody else was coming along. And I just knew that needed to happen. So,
have you ever experienced a time when it wasn't like when it wasn't the wedding party, or wasn't any of them? Has there ever been a time where, I don't know, maybe something happened like that involved not them, but it was maybe something on you, or something that just happened, like, was it weather? I don't know, anything like that where it wasn't the...
Yeah. No, I've had a time at an event, and I was taking my camera gear and I put it in the trunk, and then I had my keys in the same hand and shut the trunk down. And right as I did it, I realized, oh my goodness, I just locked the keys in the trunk with my gear, and my stomach just fell. I was like, oh my goodness. All I had was a camera around my neck and my cell phone. And at that time too, what we were going to do, we were at the reception event, and I was going to be going with the groom. I hopped in his vehicle with him, and we were going to a location to shoot the first look. And so I quickly called my husband, saving grace, which was like, he was like an hour and a half away. Like, can you please come? And I locked the keys in the car. I'm going to need the rest of my gear. I just had the camera around my neck, and I'm going to need, I'm just starting this whole day in the event. So I'm going to...
You're at the very beginning of the event. So
yeah, a little bit stressful, but so yeah, I had to pace myself, because at that time too, we didn't have the camera cards where it's like all this, lots of space on them. So, and then my batteries and that sort of thing. I definitely learned a lesson at that event. Everything went well. The couple didn't even know that I was kind of had that panic feeling inside me, like I don't have everything I should have in my hands right now. But we paced myself. It was very intentional on the images that I was taking.
You're like, let's slow down. Let's slow down. No,
Yeah.
and I think there sounds like there's a few takeaways in all of these horror stories. You know, it sounds to me, I think your professionalism is kind of shining through on a lot of this, as far as, and I know that I've heard this a lot from just the event professionals that I've interacted with at TCWEP, but really not letting the bride and groom and the party not necessarily see when things are going wrong on your part, but making it all smooth for them as
Right.
much as you possibly can.
Yep. They didn't know I was having that secret anxiety panic attack inside. Yes. Yeah. And that's how it should be. I mean, when we're servicing their events and that sort of thing, it's just, their day is, you know, we're all making it there to be there and service it and make it the best that it can be. All the little behind the scene things that happen, a lot of times they can be taken care of without them even knowing that there's a little stressor or it's not going quite right or that sort of thing.
Right. It's a horror for you, and it's a horror for maybe some of the vendors, but not so much for them. And that's wonderful. That's really wonderful. It reminds me of, I know, if you don't mind sharing really quickly, I think Sharon Planner, she's the pianist for parties. I think you and her had an interaction once.
Oh, yes. This was a long time ago, but this was so awesome. Yep. I was at her and I were servicing the same clients, and I was there before the ceremony and we were taking pictures, but outside of this beautiful little church. And Sharon was inside and she was actually practicing and getting ready for, she was playing the music for the ceremony.
Mm-hmm.
So I was outside with my clients and we were taking pictures, beautiful little, cute little church. But the bugs were horrible and they were just like swarming us. And I'm like, oh my goodness.
Say cheese.
Yes. And
you have a bug
Sharon,
on your tooth.
yeah, she was so awesome. She's like, oh my gosh. She's like, I have bug spray in my car. And she went and grabbed her thing and I was able to spray the area down and then kind of go back to it and then take pictures. And it was fabulous. And so, yeah, knowing other vendors in the event industry when we worked the same events and helping just take care of each other. Yeah, she was a lifesaver. And we really appreciated it because it was great.
Interesting. Yeah. It's just that thing where I think that's why I think TCWP is so cool. Is well, just building those. I know I'm sounding like I'm preaching TCWP, and I am, but it's getting that, you know, you have that relationship with Sharon, and you guys know each other, and you're able to help each other. Yeah.
I've heard that time and time again with the people that meet each other here, and we end up having events that we share. It is so nice to have a familiar face, and we all know that we're there to service their day and to give them the best day possible. And it's fun. We roll up our sleeves and we help each other out. And
yeah. When you have the apocalyptic bug invasion happening, that's a little horror movie in and of itself. But you and Sharon, able to spray it down with bug spray. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was great, and it helped immensely. So yeah, it was so great. So
no, that's wonderful.
Friend vendors.
Friend vendors.
Yes.
Friend vendors to help fight off the crazy. I know I keep using all these horror puns, but it's kind of fun. It's
great.
Kind of fun. Well, thanks, Michelle. Looking forward to another TCWP event.
Me too.
See you there.
Perfect. Yeah, see you there.
Thanks so much. Okay. If you'd like to learn more, log on to tcwep.com.